Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a 3-day visit to Sri Lanka, where he is expected to hold bilateral talks and oversee the signing of key agreements in the energy, health, digital infrastructure and defence sectors. Earlier, the Indian Prime Minister received a guard of honour at the Independence Square in Colombo. He was accompanied by Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake. The Prime Minister of India is expected to hold one-on-one talks with the Sri Lankan President, where several key issues like defence, strategic cooperation, energy and infrastructure are likely to be discussed. Out of the talks between the Prime Minister of India and the President of Sri Lanka, 2 documents facilitating India's assistance to Sri Lanka on debt restructuring and currency swap are likely to be made public. The 2 sides are also expected to seal separate pact on cooperation in the digital domain. Apart from that, the Prime Minister of India and the President of Sri Lanka may take up the sensitive fisheries conflict in which war-affected northern Tamil fishermen of Sri Lanka and daily wage fishermen of Tamil Nadu are severely affected. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval are likely to join the Prime Minister during the visit. The Prime Minister of India last visited the country in 2019, 3 years ago when the island nation was reeling under a massive economic crisis. India extended financial assistance worth $4.5 billion. In Colombo, the Prime Minister is scheduled to lay a wreath at the Indian Peacekeeping Force Memorial. The Prime Minister landed in Colombo on Friday, and upon his arrival, he was received by 5 Sri Lankan ministers at the airport despite the rains. In a post on social media X, the Prime Minister of India expressed his gratitude for the grand welcome. The visit follows Prime Minister Modi's participation at the BIMSTEC summit in Thailand. After his arrival, the Prime Minister of India was welcomed by members of the Indian diaspora in Colombo. He is the first global leader to be hosted by Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake after he took office in September last year. President Dissanayake visited New Delhi in December last year, marking his first state visit abroad. Let's now talk to our correspondent in Sri Lanka. Dasuni Athoda is now joining us live from Colombo. Dasuni, good to see you again. The state visit has already begun. The Guard of Honor and the 21 gun salute is already done. What's next for today?
Oh, yes, day 2 of this visit has now officially kicked off. And from what we understand, as of right now, one-on-one talks between the 2 leaders, PM Modi as well as President Dissanayake, are taking place as of right now, following which they will be having a joint press statement, which they will make the public get to know as to what the deals and the further ties between the 2 countries would look like, especially in areas concerning energy, infrastructure, defense, as well as railways.
Dasuri, there's so much, spotlight on what the 2 leaders will be speaking about. What's the significance of this visit going forward for both India and Sri Lanka?
Absolutely. I think all eyes would be on this all-important defense memorandum of understanding that is to be signed between the 2 leaders. That is what the entire nation here in Sri Lanka is eagerly awaiting to see, how regional defense measures will sort of take place with the governance of President Dissanayake, and especially with him in his first tenure as president. That is why this entire meeting is quite crucial and critical for not only Sri Lanka, but also the region at large, to see how Sri Lanka and India will bolster these ties. So maybe in the next 2 to 3 hours, we will get to know what these ties would look like, in what areas, and what the future for India-Sri Lanka partnerships would look like.
All right. Dasuni Athoda, keep your eyes out and your ears out as we await the leaders and what they will say after their meeting. That is our correspondent in Sri Lanka, Dasunya Thoda. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.